sign at the thing. I think when we arrived, and we think, you know, the organization then was still much like it is today. We filled out all the paperwork and all that kind of stuff, and once we showed up, they didn't know what to do with us, so they gave us a table at the end somewhere. I think it was in the other bathrooms. But we didn't care. We were in San Diego. It was awesome and fun, and glad to be here. This guy, I want to put this picture in because before we did the Turtles, I used to do mini comics. You know, I get a lot of people that come up to the table trying to create and do their own comic books. Well, I want just to remember that, you know, I started out doing these little photocopy mini comics, and this guy is Clay Geertz. He was my first publisher, and I would submit work to them. He always sent notes back to me. I think he used to pay me $3 an illustration for stuff I did for him. And I got to meet him in San Diego. It was pretty awesome. It was really inspirational for a kid that was in high school, still starting out and doing that kind of stuff. This was, I got to meet Frank Miller and Lynn Varley. This is, Frank had just done, had come off Ronin. He was asking some Ronin originals there. And I brought the Turtles books up, and you know, we dedicated the book to Frank Miller and Jack Kirby, and I said I was a huge fan. I was, and I think he took it as a huge compliment that we sort of ripped him off completely for all of his stuff to do it. He said that's really awesome. And we were kind of friends for a while, and then when the Turtles became really successful, he wasn't friendly with that much anymore. I think we became too successful, but he was great. But it was really an honor, because actually, you know, I was a huge fan of Miller's work. Next one. This is a dear friend of mine, Mark Bodie. Yeah, seriously. Mark's father was a guy named Vaughn Bodie, who was a huge cartoonist in the late 60s, early 70s, and passed away way before his time. I was a huge fan of Vaughn's work, and it was funny when the Turtles' first book came out in 1984, a guy named Matt Howarth reviewed it for Heavy Metal, and he said that he could detect the Vaughn Bodie influences, the Jack Kirby influences, and all that stuff. To me, that was a huge compliment, the fact that I was actually in Heavy Metal as a review. And I got to meet Mark, and we got to become great friends still. And today I worked on a couple stories with Mark. And the 25th anniversary book that I have for sale here at the show, picked out one of my favorite stories that Mark and I did together. It was called The Shell of the Dragon. It was our homage to Bruce Lee, and that's in the collection you see. This next, oh, Stan's the guy. Stan was like, I think he's coming here, he's celebrating the 25th anniversary of Usagi Yojimbo. But again, he was one of the guys that we met first year out here. We're still friends today, and Stan is just one of those gentlemen, sweetheart, just the nicest guy on the planet. We've collaborated, of course, many years over the history of the publishing of the Turtles and that stuff. There we go. This is my hero right here. Actually, it was kind of funny. I was pissed off at Julie Schwartz, who was Julie Schwartz ran DC Comics for years and years, and he's a very funny guy, and he's a sweetheart, he's a real visionary for a lot of stuff that he did. But this is our picture of Jack Kirby, and that shithead put a thing on Jack's head. So I was pissed off at him for years. But,
thank God for Photoshop.
But no, I forgave him. No, it was a real honor to meet Jack, and I have to tell you that he was one of those guys that was a huge influence on me. What was more amazing was that the way he interacted and was so grateful for his fans. That was a huge thing. And I didn't care if you were 5 years old or 55 years old, and you had some stupid question about something he did, he would answer you and each person in succession down the line with the same enthusiasm, and always made anybody that he met just go away leaving happy and feeling great about loving him and the work that he did. And that's really an inspiration of how I treat my fans, because you guys are awesome, seriously. There we go. This is meeting Dave Sim. We actually did, yeah, seriously. Dave's I have to tell you that Dave was a great big inspiration, because I remember self-publishing as a lot of the underground comics and that kind of stuff. But Dave was one of the contemporaries that was really directly inspired Peter and I for doing the self-publishing we did. Also, Wendy and Richard Peeney, who were doing ElfQuest, also a huge inspiration at that time. So this was meeting Dave, and I was pitching my idea because I wanted to do a Turtle Cerebus crossover. And he at first didn't want to do it because I wanted Cerebus to be a barbarian character like he was, and he was already into like church and state, and so far beyond doing these little things. But he did it anyway, and he was grateful. We were grateful, and that's awesome. I had to put this in. This is a Hotel San Diego. Yes, that's Peter Laird in the middle there. Me, Jim Lawson, Steve Levine. And this is what we used to do at the show, because we really didn't have that much money back then. We could buy a couple 12-packs though. And so we always had to get together in somebody's room and drink a lot of beer, and we do these jam drawings. Like somebody would pick like 5, each guy would pick a topic, and then we'd sort of keep passing the paper around and each add to this drawing. We came some really messed up stuff, especially after a couple 12. But I love this picture. This is really, that's how the good old days were. We were super tight. I just put it in because this was really retarded. We were coming back from some flight, and I was pretending I was homeless in the airport in Chicago. Get to it now. John Oates is back again. I think I finally grew a mustache and didn't want to shave it. I didn't think it would grow back. But this was actually when the comic became real successful. We started getting a lot of interest from people that do licensing, toys and animation and all this stuff. We partnered with this guy, Mark Friedman. We gave him a 30-day license, and stayed with him for about 10 years. He was a great agent. He brought us to Playmates Toys, and this is one of the first couple of trips we took to Playmates out here in California. We were looking at some of the prototypes before the Turtles even came out. That's back in 1987. Here we are at a toy fair. this again, Pete's mustache, isn't it? This was at Toy Fair in 1988. This was actually the big launch year of the Turtles, because the cartoon show came on. It was between Christmas of 1987, that school break, the 5-part episode, and then they did Toy Fair in February, and then the Turtles toys actually launched in June of that 1988, and they sold out. We pretty much, that was the year, 1988 was the year that we sort of realized. I remember we actually, to sum it up, Peter and I, once the toy shipped, we were both living in Massachusetts, and we went to this KB toy store down in Springfield. We wanted to see the Turtle toys on the shelf. So we're going down the toy aisle. This kid's pitching this holy fit. And his mother's dragging him out of the store, and we're going down, and the mother's like, no, I'm not buying you any of those stupid Ninja Turtles. and Peter and I were like, oh my God, what have we done? And pretty much from then on, we held on for dear life, because it was, I think we did like 300 episodes of the animated show, almost 300 live action movies, and we do like 3,000 or 4,000 licensees worldwide, and it was just an incredible experience. This is one of my favorite photos. This was on the set of Turtles Movie 1. This is when we got to meet Jim Henson, who was a huge fan. I mean, I grew up like probably a lot of kids around my age that, Sesame Street and all that stuff, but, loved Fraggle Rock and some of the, not Fraggle Rock, the Muppet Show and some of the other stuff he'd done. And when he came on board, Steve Barron, the director of the first TV movie, Turtles movie, brought Jim Henson in to do the costumes. We were all really freaked out. I mean, you can see it in animation, you can see it in publishing, that kind of stuff. How are you going to make these things believable in a live action environment? And Jim Henson's really the man that made them work. I mean, they created technology. You can see the puppeteer there. They created technology just for these costumes. And when I was in the Turtles' first film, they showed it on the big screen at the Tribeca Film Festival a couple months back. And that's the first time I've seen it, in that environment since it originally opened. And it was great. It still, to me, it held up just as well. It was just as cool. It was great to see it all. Awesome. All right. Oh, this is really funny. And basically, in the first movie, Steve Barron asked me if I wanted to do a cameo in the movie. So I had to go to wardrobe, and I was Ernie the garbage man. I actually had to carry these 2 garbage bags just out ahead of this garbage truck, see what was going on down the street, which is the Turtles fighting, drop the garbage bags, and then run back down the street. So I said, awesome, this is going to be great. So I'm telling everybody, dude, you're going to see me in the Turtles movie, it's going to be incredible. It's making close up, the wrinkling of the cheek, the eye. So when you actually see the scene in the movie, there's basically 2 turtles fighting. Behind them is like about 8 to 10 ninjas, and then another turtle fighting them. Then about a half a mile down the street is the corner of the street, and I came out there. So basically, you kind of see this black blob almost. If you do it on slow, I did it many times, you put it on slow and really look through it. So that's the closest thing to that. This is meeting Casey Jones. Thanks. Casey was Pete and I created a lot of the characters together. Some of us had more influence on one particular character or the other. Casey was mine, but I have to say that I came up with everything about Casey except Pete added the golf bag, which really pulled the character. Casey Jones, the real Casey Jones on set was incredible. He was so freaked out about playing this character right. I'm like, dude, it's a freaking comic character. Like, I don't know, am I getting it right? Yeah.
Is that guy swinging it back? Okay.
That's a great shot. on the set down in Wilmington, North Carolina, and Leonardo, this guy David, that was the actor that played that, had brought that for us to sign. And the guy that was doing the photography said, "Let's grab a photo of you guys with it." So that's it. He looks so intense. And another good shot. This is a local photographer of ours in Northampton, Fred Moore, who passed away. He was a very dear friend. Took this great black and white shot. And this is really sums it up, I think, for me. We had an incredible experience. Peter and I probably had some of the most creative, awesome, inspiring, co-inspiring, joyous adventures, especially in the early days of the comics. We stayed together through an incredible phenomenon that took us by surprise and still takes us by surprise. Every time I sketch one more turtle in one of your books, it amazes me that you guys still want that, and it's pretty freaking awesome. But this was great. That was sort of that's it. That's how I remember my experience with the turtles. And I think that's it.